From the UK to the USA.
Just catch just a little glimpse of him, and then he'd be gone.
More unexplainable phenomena is being captured than ever before.
The chair flew across the floor.
Oh my God! Ben, I'm getting out of here.
In this series, we will hear firsthand from the people involved.
This black shadow with wings swooped towards me.
As we reveal the most terrifying,
It fed off my anxiety. I just couldn't fight it.
Aliens.
remarkable,
Something's definitely crashed you. This is weird.
and unexplainable footage shot by you.
I do believe that he may have been possessed.
Whoa! Whoa! Oh my
But first, meet our experts, who'll be giving their opinions on the unexplained.
I do believe that there is more to reality than this material world we see around us. I just don't think science and reason has all of the answers. So I think there are absolutely some things in this world that are unexplainable.
There is a viable explanation for everything. I get involved in scientific investigation of paranormal claims, but also I do go out ghost busting at the weekends. I'm a skeptic in the true sense of the word. If I can see quite blatantly it's not real, then I will definitely call it out.
I believe that ghosts exist because I've experienced them myself. Some things are definitely unexplainable. Science has a long way to go to proving the existence of the afterlife.
My mum was a medium, and I've grown up with ghosts. Life goes on beyond death. I think there are life forms on other planets. Do I think there's always an answer to the unexplained? No.
This is Unexplained, caught on camera. In today's show, UFO sightings.
Something's going on!
Deep in the forest.
It was scary. No matter where we go, it seems to be watching us.
Unexplained sightings by the sea.
I just couldn't find what it was. It was a bit weird. It was horrible to look at.
A swarm of birds like something from a horror movie.
What's going on?
And a demonic box
There's something in here.
that should have never been opened.
We were scared. We were all scared. That's definite.
But first, in Suffolk, UK, investigators in hot pursuit of UFO activity
Oh, I saw something next to you.
end up being the ones pursued.
I've just seen some lights, and now the helicopter's over here.
UFO hunters Phil Bradshaw and Jeff Young have been investigating extraterrestrial activity for over 10 years.
We do any sort of investigating that involves UFOs. There's more stars out there than grains of sand on this planet. If each star is a sun, and each sun has a solar system, there's got to be life somewhere.
I think perhaps you'd be very naive to believe that in a universe of this size that there isn't extraterrestrial life. I strongly believe that there is life out there.
And one of the places the pair thought they were most likely to find extraterrestrial life was Rendlesham Forest in Suffolk.
Rendlesham Forest has become famous for the UFO landing that took place in December 1980.
It's actually known as the UK Roswell incident. There's an airbase right next door. It's no longer used, but it was used by the US military.
It was one of the officers on a watchtower that saw bright lights in the trees, so they assembled a team and went out there.
What they found was actually a craft which had landed. It was levitating off the floor and almost had a glow to it. They saw this craft take off. They saw it divide into other pieces. Unfortunately, all the evidence, so the photographs, the recordings and stuff like that, were taken away.
Suspecting a cover-up operation by the US military and following reports of unexplained flashing lights in the forest since that night, Phil and Jeff embarked upon an investigation with their colleagues, Mark and Clive.
So here we are in Rendlesham Forest, and this is where the incident took place in December 1980. People say strange things happen here now. They say they see types of shadow figure, strange noises, so we're going to see what we can capture.
We set our equipment up and waited until it got completely dark. It was very, very eerie.
There seems to be very, very little wildlife here.
Yeah.
During the day when we came here, I didn't see anything. I didn't see a squirrel. I didn't even see birds. Normally in woods you get rustling and stuff, but there's been nothing.
It was just dead silence, nothing at all. What do they know that we don't know? They must have been sensing something.
Eyewitnesses, very credible eyewitnesses actually, saw strange light anomalies in the forest which they couldn't explain. At the time, nearby RAF Woodbridge was being used by the United States Air Force. So everything about this area suggests that it may well be a UFO hotspot.
It's a location where many people have reported UFO sightings, and certainly we have some, military personnel that have reported military sightings, and that makes it more evidential. And for that reason, I can understand why people would want to go there and possibly capture UFO footage.
Near to the reported UFO landing site in the forest is the 18th century family home of filmmaker Gary Lowe.
It's amazing that our home is only 300 metres away from the UFO sighting. It sort of didn't really bother me that we was living so close to the landing site, but things do sort of go through your head sometimes.
But one day, Gary actually caught sight of something strange in his garden.
It was mid-January, and it was a beautiful, bright, sunny day. I was videoing, and I just thought it would be a good idea to get a shot of a plane in the distance, but my eyes are not as good as what they used to be. It was not until I got indoors and I put the footage onto my laptop that I could clearly see that it wasn't a plane.
Later, Gary and his family try to explain the unexplainable.
Wow, I've caught something really, truly amazing here that nobody's sure of what it is.
And the UFO hunters suspect an alien invasion.
Mark, Clive, something's going on!
Next, there's something fishy going on. When a trip to the beach turns deadly.
I'm Paul Jones, I'm 49 years old, and I live just outside Cambridge.
One October weekend, Paul decided to whisk his wife away to Great Yarmouth.
It was my wife's birthday, and we decided to spend the weekend in Yarmouth at a caravan park. Most birthday weekends like that we spend with friends up there, just generally drinking and partying. All the kids are grown up now, so it's just us adults. Usually at the end of the weekend on Sunday, we will always go for a walk on the beach just to get over the hangover.
But instead of sorting out Paul's sore head, the stroll soon turned into the hangover from hell.
As we walked along, I saw what I thought was a rucksack being washed out into the sea. As I got closer, I thought it's definitely not a rucksack. It's something disgusting. It was horrible.
In scenes you'd expect to find in a horror film, not Great Yarmouth Beach, a decomposed body had washed up on the shore.
It's only about 2.5 foot long. It looked very exposed on one side. I just couldn't find what it was. It was a bit weird. At first I thought it was dead seal or something along that lines. And then I started thinking, that's a mermaid tail. Well, the top half seemed almost human. The middle part was hard to explain how gruesome it looked. The lower part seemed almost like a wrapped rubber rather than scales. But the biggest problem was the smell. It was pretty horrible. Still had some hair on it. It was part skin, part not skin. It was horrible to look at.
The gruesome discovery had Paul perplexed.
I kept looking around to see whether or not someone was trying to set me up as a joke, see if anyone was filming. I couldn't see anyone else on the beach, and it looked like it'd been there for a while, so it was just starting to sink into the sand a bit. I tried to get the wife over to have a look, didn't want to go anywhere near it. She wanted to call the police thinking it was something we should report. I did end up ringing the local sea life centre. They said they were going to send someone out, and we waited there roughly an hour, and no one turned up. So by then, the sea was coming in, and I went to pick it up and take it back with us. And Missy said there was no way that was going in the car because it smelled really bad.
Although he wasn't allowed to keep his mermaid memento, when he was back on dry land, Paul uploaded the video, and it caused quite a flap.
In a few days, I had over 49,000 shares and over 23,000 comments. A majority of the comments were saying it wasn't real, but there was also a large proportion saying it was real. One woman said that's definitely not a mermaid. Obviously, you can see that because the fins were in the wrong place. Well, I'm not sure what reference she had to go by.
Mermaids, I think, were created hundreds, maybe even thousands of years ago as a bit of a warning to sailors going out to sea. But over the years, like many myths and legends, these things have almost turned into maybe fantastic or fact.
Can we discount that it's a hoax? Has somebody just set this up? Because you look at the flippers, you look at the outline, and for all intents and purposes, it looks like a mermaid. And come on, we know mermaids don't exist, so is it a hoax?
I believe in mermaids, but in order to believe in this, I would need to see a post-mortem.
Well, I'm sceptical about this being a real mermaid or evidence that mermaids even exist. I think it's more than likely that it's something that resembles a mermaid or it's been put there as a prop.
Funnily enough, Paul makes Halloween props for a hobby. But he wouldn't be trying to fool us hook, line and sinker, would he?
Some people say because I make Halloween props, I made it, but that's up to you to decide. I know what I saw that day. The mermaid of that quality, I wish I did make it.
But did you? Well, that's for us to decide. All around the world, people are capturing paranormal activity on camera. In California, this man's house has a quirk of its own. Every time he whistles, he seems to attract unwanted attention. While he shows us the invisible culprit that opened the door.
There's nobody in here.
This poltergeist seems to move to its own tune.
Holy you guys, seriously, you guys have asked for it.
Some poltergeists seem to have a thing for kitchens. In Canada, this man goes to make a bowl of cereal in the middle of the night, when his cornflakes turn a midnight feast into a midnight fright. Next, in Florida, USA, things that go bump in the night.
Oh, fuck.
Oh my God.
And dabbling with a demon.
You may rip it open?
Yeah, would you please? Because I'm having a hard time ripping it open.
My name is Clayton. I'm a YouTuber. I live in the United States in Florida, Spring Hill. And I go out and do paranormal investigations for my YouTube channel.
What's up, everyone? What's up, guys? What's up, guys? This is Clayton, and we are here at the new house.
Spurred on by watching other paranormal investigations, Clayton began documenting his eerie adventures 2 years ago.
A lot of the times when I watch TV shows, one of the things that upset me the most is that when they would see something, they would see a figure down the hallway or a door would close in front of them, they would edit or they would cut or they would run and they would never go investigate it. And that really upset me as a person watching stuff to see something right there on camera.
Oh, shit.
And they don't go towards it.
Do you guys see that?
In January 2019, after hearing about an abandoned haunted garage, Clayton and fellow ghost hunter Heather decided to go and investigate.
We were investigating an old car place where they would work on cars, fix them, do oil changes, and it was rumor has it someone died there from a lift that fell and it got shut down. Right behind us is the door. We walked in. We haven't even looked around yet, so we're gonna go now and explore it for the first time with you. See what happens. She's brought her spirit box. I brought my blue light. Let's go check it out. Ready?
Let's go.
Let's go.
But it's not long before Clayton's promise to not run away is tested.
What the fuck?
Whoa. Did it just, like, pull open?
No, that was behind the door.
Whoa.
Hello? I don't get scared too easy, but we felt something was there the whole time. The garage itself gave a very feeling that someone's there. It definitely felt like this was a place that was a grounds for a spirit to be. Oh man, this is a good place. Everyone said come here. Lots of activity. We kept hearing a noise out in the office while we were in the garage. So we would go into the office and we'd hear noises out into the garage.
Hello, anybody in here? Now it's definitely out there.
What the hell?
Like, who could possibly be making all this noise?
And that was the only door. That was the only door that led there. Ooh, fuck.
Oh my God.
And finally we realized the noise was coming right above the doorway between the two locations.
It came from right there. There's something up there. I just freaking heard like something hit that.
I heard a thump, yeah.
I wonder if we should check. Alright guys, he's gonna stand on this here and look in the attic.
Oh, it's dusty and dirty. What was heavy?
Oh my God. What the heck? What is that? What the hell is that? Like, he just opened this and this red frickin' nasty thing came out. Are you okay? Did that hit you?
I don't know.
That looks like one of those frickin' what are those called? Dybbuk box or some shit?
Dybbuk box. A dybbuk box is more or less known for having spirits and stuff trapped inside of it. Items from someone, their hair, or a favorite toy, or something of theirs. And it's some kind of witchcraft magic. I'm not sure how you would name it, but they trap it inside the box and they seal it with wax so it can't escape.
A dybbuk is a malicious mythological demon, and these boxes are believed to be the most haunted object on the planet. Clayton faced a dilemma: leave the demon box or dare to take it.
I say we take it. I don't want to be in here anymore.
Me neither.
The garage has the big doors.
If we have to run, we're good. In here, I feel crammed and just...
We were scared. We didn't know what to do with it at first. So we decided we didn't want to leave it there for someone else to find, knowing it was something that might have some kind of trapped spirit or something in it. So we decided to bring it with us. It was a good adventure. I had fun.
Yeah, it was.
And I can't see, so I got to turn my camera around.
That door.
Yep, I'm going to go out to the front.
But after making a hasty exit...
And we're out.
On the way home, Clayton had a change of heart.
It's highly recommended if you find one, you don't open it. You bury it or you leave it alone. You don't touch it. I decided I'm not going to take that box home. I don't know a lot about them. I've watched a video or two of them being open, and I'm just not really willing to take the chance of bringing it home. I took it to a field where I knew there'd be no traffic, no people, and I buried it about 2 feet into the dirt.
But later, the box beckons and curiosity gets the better of him.
We were scared. We were all scared. That's definite.
Somebody fucking in here.
Back in Rendlesham, And filmmaker Gary Lowe, who lives near the famed UFO landing site, caught something unexplained on camera.
When I brought the footage back to the laptop and uploaded it onto a bigger screen, I was really gobsmacked of what it could be. I just had to call all of the family to come and have a look at this and see what they think.
Gary's 12-year-old son, James, was equally as shocked.
It looked like an asteroid going upwards. I was like amazed by it. I'm convinced it was a UFO.
When I first see the UFO footage, I must admit my heart did start beating a little bit faster. And I was quite amazed that I'd actually caught something strange on camera. The normal sort of shape of a UFO is probably a disc shape or a triangular shape, but this almost seemed to be like an elongated sort of dark egg shape. It didn't seem to be travelling fast at all. It seemed almost stationary in the sky. My rational way of thinking that it could have been a meteor. When I posted the video online, people was coming back saying it can't possibly be a meteor, it's travelling upwards, not downwards. Having them sort of comments on the video made me sort of wonder even more, wow, I've caught something really, truly amazing here that nobody's sure of what it is. My explanation for that day is that I did catch something very strange and unidentified. What happened was definitely unexplained. I don't like going out too late of a night now in the dark. If the bins need putting out, I tend to send my wife out.
In the nearby Rendlesham forest, darkness didn't deter the UFO hunters who were investigating the notorious landing site.
Over there in the trees, Mark is seeing a white light.
I've seen it about 6 times.
Oh, I saw it. There it is. Yes. It's moving, it's transient, whatever it is. It's over there.
Whoa. Are you still getting it? It's still moving?
I'm still seeing it. It's to your right now, Jeff, to your right.
They weren't at a level where it could be a reflection of something from animal eyes or something like that. They were floating maybe 6 foot off the floor. I've never seen anything like that before.
We were too far from any roads. It was dark. If someone was walking by with a torch, it would only be a couple of feet off the ground. Also, the area that the lights were moving is somewhere you can't really walk without falling over and probably really hurting yourself.
One of the most unexplained things that happened for me on that investigation was a flash of light at the bottom of a tree. It was like a beam of light which came down from above. It lit up a small area around the base of the tree, very localised, very bright.
Why is that lit up and then everything else around here is not lit up? Why is it just down there? It's like there's just a glow of something just there. And I'm looking up there, the moon is behind us up there in the trees.
So it's not moonlight?
It's so quick. I did slow it down and we were amazed. There's only one place that it came from and that was above.
But it wasn't just the unusual lights they saw.
I swear to God, I've just seen something move. Who's out there? For a split second, I saw something black move next to the camera. There's no way anyone can walk through the middle of that forest without making a sound. If it was someone with a torch, they couldn't have done that. We've come here this evening to speak to you. Whatever was moving through those trees, it was big, 20 feet off the floor.
Using an EVP device, Jeff tried to communicate with the presence they clearly felt.
So can you make yourself known, please? Now, we've seen some lights, which may be something to do with you. Were you here back in 1980 when it was reported that some unidentified flying object landed here? Were you part of that?
When we played back the recording, there was a voice. Couldn't make out what was being said. And then there was this chanting It didn't sound sort of a normal human chant. It sounded a bit gargly.
It was like saying something over and over and over again in a very monotone way. You start doubting yourself. You think, am I really hearing that? But then when one of your colleagues turns around and says, can you hear that? And then we're all listening to it. It's quite strange and difficult to explain.
There's been light phenomena seen around these woods for the past 40 years nearly. Do you come back and visit?
Can you speak to us, please? It didn't have a human tone to it. It was probably one of the most strangest EVPs that we had captured.
UFO sightings are spotted all over the world.
What is that? What is it? What is that? Huh?
In this footage, an unidentified flying object seems to be hovering over the sky in Hawaii.
Is that a meteor shower?
Passers-by gasp in wonder as these unexplainable lights cause a stir.
That scared me.
But not all flying objects are unidentified. This footage shows the skies abuzz when this lady returns to her car.
This is terrifying.
The swarms of blackbirds tend to congregate in large flocks where there's plenty of food.
Oh, this is so weird.
This unusual sight
They're on top of my car.
appears to be like something out of a horror movie.
It's disgusting. Go away. I got in my car just in time. This is ridiculous.
In Georgia, USA, a space oddity.
It was literally something coming out of the sky that almost seemed to bend time and space. It was one of the creepiest things that I have ever seen.
36-year-old Grace Kelly captured something truly out of the ordinary when she set up a security camera at the back of her house.
We set up these motion cameras that only record whenever it detects motion.
On the night she set it up, Grace and her partner Jonathan were out for dinner.
I remember the phone going off alerting me that, there had been motion, but long story short, I didn't end up getting to check the video footage until we actually got back to the house, and everything, when we got there was in place and everything looked fine. So then I thought, well, I wonder why it was going off, and I'm sitting there at the table and I opened up the file, and at first I thought, well, what triggered it? Because for the first 3 or 4 seconds, it's not really showing anything,
But on closer inspection, Grace noticed something very strange indeed.
It almost looked like a smoke or a fog, in the top left corner of the video, like it was kind of getting a little foggy, but it was kind of coming down almost to the point to where it's just hovering above the ground, and it's so bright. It's almost like a blue-white. I didn't think it was really anything camera related as far as there being a fault in the camera or the focusing, because it just hovered and you could see it hovering and almost moving like it had some type of life to it. And it looks like they dropped to the ground. As soon as they hit the ground, just kind of go forward really fast, like towards our house, before they just disappear completely. Then the big bright light just kind of starts drawing back up and back into the sky, and everything starts to dim back down. As it's going back up, the footage suddenly looks like a time warp, almost like a bend in space or time, and it just kind of goes whoop, and everything just kind of settles back into the focus, and it's gone. This wasn't no apparition. This wasn't a chair sliding across the room. This was literally something coming out of the sky that almost seemed to bend time and space and warp it for the second, almost like it was something entering our world.
There are lots of instances around the world of unusual weather phenomena, sometimes cloud formations, sometimes lightning, and all other environmental conditions.
100% this is paranormal activity. I see that spirit land, and if you watch it closely, you'll see it too. You see the feet and the legs come down out of the mist and land on the grass.
It's not about the sky, it's about interpreting something natural that's happening that we're capturing on footage.
The mist itself was pretty scary. It looked like something was literally coming from inside of it. It is the strangest thing that I have ever witnessed in my life. There was no explanation for it whatsoever.
Back in Florida, after discovering a dybbuk box in an abandoned garage.
Oh my god. What the hell is that?
Clayton buried it out in the wilderness.
I decided I'm not going to take that box home. I don't know a lot about them.
But after a month of it playing on his mind, Clayton needed to satisfy his curiosity.
One night, I went back to that location and dug it up and took it to the location we found it at.
Brought Patty with us this time from the G team.
Hi there, everybody.
We were scared. We were all scared. That's definite. But at the same time, this is what we do. This is what we look for. We're the paranormal investigators.
Ready to take it out there?
All right. You gonna grab it, Clay?
Let's do it.
We're like kids in a candy store. We wanted to open it, and we did our homework. We made sure we were safe. We took every precaution to make sure that would happen.
May we be strong in the Lord and in the strength of his might.
After a protection prayer and some sage burning to cleanse the room of any bad vibes,
Get the sage going again.
it was showtime.
We all wanted to open, but none of us really wanted to be the one to do it. And my colleague Patty was the one who finally was the one to open it.
Look at all this wax coming off. You don't scare me if you're something bad in here.
It was pretty hard. I don't know a lot about the material, but it felt like it was extremely old, the way it was like cracking and breaking apart.
Okay.
Oh wow,
Wow, look at that.
Old looking box, guys. I've never quite seen anything like it. It's got like a triangle carved right here. Strange looking carving right here.
How do you get like inside of it? Is there like an opening for it?
You may rip it open?
Yeah, would you please? Because I'm having a hard time ripping it open.
What the fuck?
What was that?
Almost instantly, you could hear what sounded like a crash or some kind of movement that bumped into something behind us.
Right when we opened
Right
it.
when you freaking opened that.
That was way back there.
It did feel like some kind of darkness, something, whatever came out. I feel that's not what made the noise. It was so bad, it scared whatever spirits was in there away. Like it cleansed the building almost because it may have been that bad.
You freaking kidding me? This is crazy. What?
Right when he opened
I know.
We definitely felt something. Our hairs were standing up, we had goosebumps, and it kind of weighed on you.
As soon as the box was opened, the presence in the building picked up the pace.
I don't know. I'm not going to go and see what that noise is.
Turn around, look to see what that noise was. Give me that flashlight. Look around. Maybe there's somebody in here. Somebody fucking in here. What is in here?
Ooh, be careful. Look at the nails on the side of it.
Shine that light over here. What is it?
We all heard this crashing noise or this noise of something running in the room with us, which was a solid room. There was no other place for people to be, so.
I think that when Clayton opened this dybbuk box, he's unleashed the entity from within it. I think that is why he heard that massive bang and that noise that scared them all to death.
Worst case scenario with the dybbuk box is that you release something called a clinging soul. And that is a form of demon. And a clinging soul will do just that. It will cling to your soul. And that's better known as possession.
If I found a dybbuk box, I would leave it exactly where I found it. I wouldn't dig it up, I wouldn't remove it, I wouldn't take it home, I certainly wouldn't open it. Because sometimes curiosity can be our downfall, and I just wouldn't risk it.
With their adrenaline pumping, they carried on inspecting the contents of the box.
It's like a black thing with, what are those? Like corn?
You want to dump it out?
It looks like corn husks. Yeah, dump it out. What is that black thing?
Ooh.
What the hell is that?
Oh my god, that's creepy.
Ooh, look at that.
What the hell?
There was really old corn husks that were kind of wrapping around this. It looked like an egg of some sort. It was very hard. The egg itself had some kind of like a black tar over it, but the tar itself was dried, so it was very hard to touch.
It's not a dead animal.
Okay, it's made out of like plastic. Do we crack that open maybe, or think it's like
Yeah, it's hollow.
Okay, so some corn husks, a piece of string, and this plastic thing. This is so strange, I don't even know what to think.
They weren't sure what was in the demon box, but one thing was clear: the persistent presence wasn't going to let up.
Whoa! Oh my God! I about jumped out of my freaking skin.
Freaking camera moves too slow.
All right, what's going on here?
So Clayton and Co. decided to leg it.
Whoa!
We immediately left. We didn't feel comfortable there.
We're out. We're going home. We got the box.
Whatever the box is, or what the contents were, Clayton's learnt that some things are best left alone.
I don't think I'll ever know the meanings of that box. I buried it. I don't plan on ever digging it back up. We've all kind of agreed this isn't something we do again. We all feel we got lucky. For the rest of my life, whenever I think about the paranormal activity and stuff I've done, I will always remember opening this box, and there will always be a small question in the back of my head. Is there something there, out there, that I released that may have done bad, may have done good, may still be connected to me, just can't get through yet?
In London, these flatmates have unearthed something sinister underneath their sofa.
Can I just... What is that? Why is it the outline of a... I mean, what would that be?
They've sold us a haunted couch! No!
They eventually pluck up the courage to investigate,
I don't want to know!
but are terrified at what they might find. After ripping their sofa to shreds,
There's nothing in there.
Good.
Just an awful lot of dust.
they're still no closer to solving the mystery.
But there could still be something behind there.
No, that's where we sit.
And to make matters worse, they also now need a new sofa.
Yeah, that's bad.
In a backyard in New Zealand,
Come and have a look at this. What do you got?
there's another creepy find.
What a prehistoric monster. What the hell was that? Look at the teeth on it.
Initially, these guys think it's an eel.
It's got no legs on it, dude. Look.
So it's not an eel, eh? So eel won't have teeth.
No, there's no way that's an eel, though.
And then wonder if it's a lizard.
Look at the head on it. No, not even a lizard would have teeth like that.
But in the end, they just put it down to the unexplained.
I've never seen anything like that.
Back in Rendlesham Forest, and after capturing flashing lights and strange chanting at a famed UFO landing site, Jeff and Phil were determined to find evidence of extraterrestrial activity.
Well, I said to my other team members, I want to see if there's something else attached to the lights. So they stayed at the landing site. I took a static camera with me, a digital recorder. We had walkie-talkies each. And I carried the equipment down this small path and headed that direction for about half a mile. And we could see this big ball of white lights start moving in and out of the trees. They could see it their end, I could see it my end. I went to use the walkie-talkie to let them know I can see it. The walkie-talkie was dead.
I just lost power to my walkie-talkie. We just put brand new batteries in. It's dead.
Cut off from any kind of communication, Jeff realised to his horror that he wasn't alone.
There was a light somewhere in the woods in front of me, and now there comes a helicopter. Something's going on.
Jeff believed the US military had got wind of their investigation.
Whatever was going on there, they knew what was going on.
What the hell's going on?
They can see us, they can see the lights, they were tracking the lights.
I kid you not. There was lights in the trees, within the trees, and at the same time, a helicopter has just come right over in the exact position. Something's going on. Holy shit.
I couldn't actually work out why the helicopter was in that airbase when it's closed down. It shouldn't be in use.
Mark! Clive! Something's going on!
Another Apache helicopter comes in. We got 3 now above us. I'm looking at these lights. My team members can see the lights. We're filming the helicopters. We're watching them and the lights. They're watching us and the lights. And I'm thinking, what the hell have we got ourselves into here?
I've just seen some lights! And now the helicopter's over here! The walkie-talkie's not working!
It was scary. It was terrifying. No matter where we go, it seems to be watching us, and we couldn't work out why.
This is apparently, you know, a public place. This is woodland. You should be allowed to go there. So why are these helicopters monitoring what they're doing?
There are governments in this world that do not want us to know the full extent of visits from other life forms.
Are they unidentified flying objects that have an alien source, or is there something else going on?
Back at the landing site, Mark and Clive are about to experience something even more petrifying.
They're all over the place. This light phenomenon, it's everywhere. What's it? No. What? Oh. What have you seen? Oh, I saw something next to you.
You're fucking kidding me.
No, I've gone, oh my God.
I've gone all fucking odd. Ah.
It was stood right next to you and it was here.
Oh, fuck.
And it was the same height as you.
I had to walk this long distance back, just carrying the equipment, trying to get back to my teammates because I can't even call them. Everything's dead.
Right, let's get back. Let's find Mark and Clive.
When I got there, they were quite panicked.
You know as well as I do that I'm very sceptical, okay?
Yeah.
And right stood next to him for a split second was another, and I swear to God, it was exactly a duplicate of him standing next to himself.
There was 2 of him, and I could still see the fright on his face, and I'm thinking, what's going on? There's these helicopters lights, and I just said, let's get the equipment, let's get out of here.
Phil and Jeff are still no closer to finding an explanation for what they saw in Rendlesham Forest that night.
There was definitely activity which I can't explain. When you review the footage, you think, gosh, now we've captured something here. Whether it's paranormal, whether it's alien, or whether it's a phenomenon of nature, who knows?
But the pair are convinced there's more to this story than meets the eye.
I believe what happened on that day was the military being involved in tracking UFOs in Rendlesham Forest that started back in December 1980. The abandoned air bases, I don't believe they're abandoned. I think there's some operation going on there. We know what we saw that day. I believe the military that were there in the helicopters, I think they know a hell of a lot more of what's going on in Rendlesham Forest.